Or on a beautiful and rainy day here in Lamar, Texas. I'm going to kick this on the FM. I got Titan in studio. I'm excited. We're going to have some fun. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstarts 8:55 on the dot. I got Titan in studio.
Titan is here, and he has not broken anything yet.
I was kind of concerned. I talked to Bart, and he said he's sending Titan. And I've watched you wrestle before.
Thank you.
And I've seen grown men run out of the ring from you before.
When Titan runs at you with a giant axe, would you not run?
I would run.
Running is good.
So whenever you got here, I did watch and see if you had an axe. Do you have an axe or anything on you?
For that information, you would have to subscribe to. I am kidding. You will not see my axe at this show tonight.
All right. So UPW is one of the newer promotions in the area, but there's a lot that's been going on. How did you get in contact with UPW?
I have known many of the more important characters in UPW for close to a decade now. There is a lot. It may be a newer company, but there is a lot of very experienced management in charge of the company. And that was the first thing that attracted me to UPW, is not only the fans, not only the area, but the fact that there are competent leaders in the company.
Yes. There's a triple threat match. It's taking place in Bacliff at Turf Wars 2.
Yes. Many people seem to forget that it's a three-way dance. And I understand the history between Jesse Logan and Nate Slater. And a lot of people may not realize that I have been there for many of their battles. And I have been to war with both of them, as I said, for nearly a decade. So I think that a lot of people that just see them as the main reason why this match is happening is very much selling Titan short.
Do you think they're overlooking you?
I feel that they might be just a little bit.
Which would be hard to do because you're a very big person.
Thank you. I try very hard.
Yeah. There's a lot of working out and training.
Training is number one for me. I have always enjoyed training, pushing my body to the limit, testing myself, becoming battle-hardened and battle-done. I work, myself and my tag team partner, for a company in Japan. Unfortunately, with this whole quarantine plague situation, things have not been as busy, you would say, as it has been in the past. But hopefully with everything slowly opening up again and slowly everybody getting back out there soon enough, I will be unleashed for everyone's benefit or detriment, depending on how you sit.
Which side you're on.
Exactly.
For sure. So were you at Turf Wars 1?
Yes, I was at the first UPW show.
Mm-hmm. How did it go for you?
It went well. I am still standing. I still have all my appendages, so I will say that I walked out of that event as a victor.
Yeah, yes. So this Saturday, UPW is having Turf Wars 2. It's at the Bacliff Volunteer Fire Pavilion. That's where that triple threat match, Jesse Logan, the champion, Nate Slater, and you, Titan. If you could make an estimate, make a guess, a prediction, what do you think is going to happen? How's it going to go down?
I think that the best assessment of the situation is that there is going to be a lot of destruction happening in front of those fans. You have three very large, very strong, very athletic big men that are ready to fight for that gold. And even though there is a long history between Jesse and Nate, I still feel that I'm going to walk out of there as the UPW Heavyweight Champion.
Is that the main goal for you? You know, in your career, you've been doing this for 10 years. Is it always the gold that you're after?
My goal is to be showcased in front of the largest audience possible. I adore seeing those eyes. I adore that those fans look at me and they marvel at what I am, and they appreciate all of the effort that I have put in to become what I am. And as long as I have an audience, like the ones that's listening to this program today, I will never stop doing what I do because I enjoy what I do. And I would like to think after 10 years of doing this, I'm pretty good at it.
Yes, and I've had the opportunity to come. I brought my family, my kids. They always have a blast. You know, they look up at people like Titan and see you as you're like a superhero, a real life superhero that they can actually get to meet. You know, how does that make you feel?
I am overwhelmed because, as I said, I've been doing this so long, nonstop. I still see myself as the, I guess, person that I was, not as the mountain giant that I have become. And whenever I have fans come to me and say, wow, I remember when you were A, now you are so far beyond that, it just validates and motivates me to do things and push myself so that next time those fans see me, they're even further blown away than they are now.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, again, this is a reminder. This is taking place this Saturday, 7 o'clock in Bacliff, Texas at the Volunteer Fire Pavilion. You can have a chance to see that triple threat match. We got Jesse Logan, the champion Nate Slater, and Titan, who is in studio with us today. I want to talk a little bit about another match that's going on, and maybe you can have some predictions as well, how you see those happening. So I see that Kid Ransom, who's been in studio with us before, he's going to be going up against the Rogue One, Romeo Falcon. Are you familiar with these gentlemen, and how do you see that playing out?
I am familiar with both of them. I have trained with both of them at multiple different facilities across this state. And I think that both of these individuals, both of these warriors, have a lot to prove. And I have heard that Romeo has taken a more, let's just say, dark approach to his in-ring skills, and Ransom has so much to prove, removing himself from the Johnny Blade problem. So I think that between those two individuals, the fans are going to be the ones who are going to win because those two will definitely tear it up.
Okay, so you mentioned the Johnny Blade problem. This brings me to a question that somebody asked. This is from Anthony Macaluso. He asked, would you knock Johnny Blade out, please, Titan? Would you do that? And you see him as a problem.
Johnny has been interfering, and for those who were not at the last UPW event, I did take Johnny and give him a little bit of a shower, but perhaps the first one he has ever had at the fountain. But he interjected himself multiple times into my match, and if he does decide to try and interfere this weekend, I think he gets a little bit more than just a dunk of water in a fountain this time.
Okay. So I know Johnny Blade, he listens regularly, so that's a warning, I suppose. Okay, so there's another match. We got David Duperon. He's a cruiserweight champ at UPW. He's going to be facing Chris Lyons. Are you familiar with these gentlemen?
I am familiar with both of them as well. Both men, as I stated before with the other two, have been training and really turning a lot of heads after quarantine ended. Many people took quarantine as a chance to take a break. For individuals like Chris Lyons, and as much as I hate to admit it, I have to respect the amount of dedication that Duperon has to his craft. They both took that time to better themselves and become more precise and defined wrestlers. And I think that both of them are going to show that they are more than they were the last time the individuals came to UPW and saw them.
Yeah, I was at the last UPW event over there in Texas City off 6th Street, and I got to see Chris Lyons against JT Royce. It went to a double count-out disqualification, which was interesting, but they both are very technical, and it was a good match. And I'm friends with David Duperon on Facebook, and I've seen him wrestle before, but a lot of the times he puts up content and you'll see him, like you said, during quarantine, he's in there. The gyms are shut down. He found a way in, working out, putting the work in like a lot of wrestlers, and I'm sure yourself did as well.
I think this is going to be a classic match of technique versus power. And it's a very interesting matchup as well, because if you are going to look, as you said, at both individuals, Chris Lyons is larger, but his technical ability might be a little bit better than Duperon. But Duperon's power cannot be underestimated. The man is a very well-decorated powerlifting champion. So speed versus power, technique versus just overwhelming physical power is going to be a very interesting thing to see for these fans.
Yeah. The other thing that you have to take into consideration is David Duperon's hair. He calls it the Mofro. It's a Mohawk afro.
I think we both began growing our hair out at the same time, and he has decided to style his in a little bit of a different way.
Yes, he has. Okay. So this is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. My name's Gardy. I have the opportunity right now to speak to Titan. He is going to be at UPW Turf Wars 2 taking place this Saturday, 7 o'clock. I'm excited for it. I think there are some tickets still available. In Bacliff, I think it's outside. There was social distancing. It was a great opportunity for the whole family to have fun. Is that correct?
Yes. This will be a covered but outdoor event. So even though we are on the other side of lockdown and quarantine and all the fun that we had to deal with last year, it is still an issue that has to be addressed until it is completely behind us. And there still will be masks that will be – they will not be forced, but they will be encouraged. And it will be an outside event so that there is less of an opportunity for the virus to spread if it would in a interior closed-off situation.
Yeah, it's a lot of open air, it's fresh air, and just a lot of opportunity to have fun with the family. Something that I do like about UPW shows is there are sometimes vendors there that have, wrestling gear and some other different things that you can pick up.
Yes, a very large part of supporting independent professional wrestling is supporting the individuals who go out of their way to make sure that the show is a success. And one of those members are the very nice sponsors of UPW. So it would be very appreciated by not just the UPW management, but the wrestlers themselves if the fans would visit those vendors, visit those sponsors, and show them the love and support that they have shown UPW.
Is there anybody on the UPW roster, assuming, hey, you're the champ, there's a triple threat match, you come away victorious, that's the way I see it going down. Who would you like to face next? Is there anybody that you haven't faced, or maybe you have and you want that rematch?
I think that I have watched T-Ray start in this business several years ago, and I have watched him evolve into one of the top stars, not only in Texas independent wrestling, but in independent wrestling overall. And if you look at my record at UPW and just my record in general when it comes to professional wrestling, I have very few blemishes, but I will admit that T-Ray has gotten the better of me on multiple occasions. I think that when the stakes have been risen and there's gold on the line, it will bring out the best in both of us. And that is a match that I think that not only I want, that the UPW fans will want to see.
Can we talk a little bit about your time in Japan? How was that for Titan in Japan?
It was slightly difficult for Titan to get around. Things are not very Mountain Giant efficient, yeah. But I enjoyed every second of it. The fans in Japan were very receptive and very appreciative of all the work that we put in. I did the training. I did what you see in the movies. I stayed at a dojo, myself and my tag team partner, and it was some of the most difficult training that I have ever done. But as soon as quarantine is fully lifted and those visas can be issued out again, I'm ready to go back in a heartbeat.
What's the main difference you notice between the wrestling and the training there, and I guess the culture of wrestling, and then here in the States and Texas specifically?
I feel that in Japan, everybody, not just the wrestlers, but the fans as well, take the sport much more seriously. There is a lot of controversy here in the United States about what is wrestling and what isn't wrestling. But in Japan, it is much more appreciated for the effort. And I think because that appreciation is there, a lot more of the individuals, the wrestlers themselves, take it more seriously. And I feel that that can be done here in the United States as well.
Okay. So before we sew this up today, can you remind everybody, what do we have going on Saturday? What can they expect from you if they come out to Bacliff?
I want everybody to come out to Bacliff this weekend, not just to see Tight, not just to see UPW, but to show everybody that Bacliff supports their small businesses, that Bacliff supports the Volunteers Fire Department, and not only that we are here to entertain, but we are here to be a community. That we can all work together, and if we all work together, we can accomplish so much more. I think that there's going to be a lot of surprises this weekend, and I think there might be a few pleasant and a few that may anger people, but that's what life is. Life is the good, life is the bad, and it's all up to you. Are you going to sit at home and hide, or are you going to come out and enjoy it all, the good and the bad?
So that is this Saturday, 7 o'clock, Bacliff, Texas, at the Volunteer Fire Pavilion. It's UPW Turf Wars 2. You are invited. You can follow UPW on Facebook, find out more information, get some tickets, and bring the entire family. Titan, thank you for coming. I know.
Thank you for having me.
The Northern Kingdom is very far.
Saturday night, UPW, Bacliff, Texas. Heads will roll.
This is KHEA